Doctor, I want to go back to you on something here. So I'm kind of torn on it. I'm curious where you stand. The sheer number of victims in this case, I look at that and I say, wow, that's, really strong for the prosecution. But then I think to myself, well, wait a second. Can that help the defense? Because if you're having these deaths, if you look at the timeline from 2015 to 2018, so many people died. It took such a long time for the hospital to be aware of this. You have Jose Baez, who is saying this was, if you believe this was murder, then it had to be a conspiracy at the highest level involving so many different people. The sheer number of deaths, I wonder if that's something actually the defense could use and say that's why this is not murder. This is a case of unfortunate circumstances, and if it really was so problematic, maybe the hospital would have stepped in earlier. What do you make of that?
The unlucky doctor defense. I agree that it can work in the defense's favor if the deaths are for varying reasons because there isn't a pattern. However, there was a witness during the earlier part of the testimony that testified about how the drug system worked. There were a series of overrides that took place, but they also didn't spot the extreme dosages of fentanyl being distributed because it wasn't dinging or pinging a system that they used to monitor that for diversion from nurses. So that may work against the defense in showing deliberateness because the use of the nurses was so spread out that it didn't ding that system. It all depends on how the prosecution argues those facts.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. And again, this is still kind of the early stages of the case. Well, kind of the midway point of the case. Really, the prosecution's still putting on their witnesses, and we're going to hear who the defense calls with their experts.